What's up, everyone? This is True Lyric, aka Mikhail Jones. I wanted to talk on something kind of heavy today. I wanted to first address my former high school, Annalee High School, as well as anyone that knows me or anyone that doesn't. Um, I would like, if you sit through this thing with me, which I really hope you do, to please share it. I really would like anyone that knew me from a couple years ago to see this video. It's really important to me. That's why I'm making it. Firstly, I would like to start off by apologizing to all the people that I hurt in my past, especially high school. And I know the way that I was when I was in high school was really bad. And I was a liar, I was a cheater, I was a thief, I was a hypocrite. And everyone knew that I was a Christian rapper, but to be honest, I didn't act like it. I was just really selfish most of the time, and I hurt a lot of people. A lot of my actions really destroyed a lot of people, and thinking back on it now, it's extremely hurtful, and I feel terrible that I was that way, and that I acted like I wasn't that way was even worse. So I would truly like to apologize to that people, anyone and everyone that those people, anyone and everyone that I just wronged, that I hurt. If there's anything I did you, please forgive me. Secondly, I would like to talk about the things that happened to me after I graduated. This is something that probably 99% of you don't know. Some of my hardcore fans know about this, but that's about it. So after graduating, I fell into depression. And when I say depression, I don't mean just being sad. I mean I was seriously clinically depressed. And this was because in high school I felt I was really popular. I felt I had everything going for me, and I was busy with all these opportunities for jobs and all this stuff. And I had tons of friends. When high school ended, all of that ended. I lost my job. I lost most of my friends. All the doors started closing, and even the place that I was recording at, I couldn't record there anymore. And I became majorly depressed following the death of a couple of my pretty close family members. And I was so depressed that I spent the whole summer after graduation trying to decide how I was going to kill myself. And I didn't really tell anyone. I mean, I told people I was depressed, a couple people, but I didn't tell anyone I was suicidal. And that was even harder for me because I was dealing with these thoughts alone. And so I spent a lot of time trying to decide why I was even here. What was the purpose of my life? And I felt lonely and and really angry with God because I grew up as a church kid, and I was just really angry with the fact that I felt I'd been doing all this stuff for God, and I'd been praying and asking for His help, and I just felt like He wasn't listening, or if He was, He just didn't care. And it was really bad. I mean, I got to the point where I couldn't even cry because I would just all the emotions inside of me were just dead. I remember one day sitting in the car with my mom, and she was trying to give me some advice and trying to talk to me, and I really wasn't listening to her. I was honestly thinking about how I was going to kill myself that night. And the one thing that I did hear her say was that in the midst of all the things that I lost, and in the midst of everything that happened, I still had my music. So that night, I kept hearing her say that over and over again, and so I actually turned to my music, and I wrote a song which ended up being called Mr. Depressed. And that song was on my first album, and it talks about my struggle with depression and the things that I went through, and just what was going through my head at that time. And so that song ended up going on the album. We ended up producing the album, and even after releasing the album, I still felt depressed, and I felt fairly worthless because I had talked a big game about like, oh, I'm gonna release this album and I'm gonna tour and all these things. And after after the release of it, I couldn't find anywhere to perform. I couldn't find anyone that wanted to buy the album, let alone hear it, until I got into Santa Rosa Christian Church, and they allowed me to do two songs, and I did one of them. That song was so depressed, and afterwards, this woman came up and she gave her life to God. And after the show, she talked to me and she said, hearing the stuff that I went through and just hearing my testimony, it gave her the strength to go up there and to change her life. And it was at that moment when when I realized that when I realized that there was a purpose to my life, that I wasn't just sitting here waiting to die, and that there was a plan. And that really changed my perspective on things. And that was the beginning of my recovery from depression. And so I realized that I couldn't just keep bottling these things inside. My music even changed and became more about what was going on in my mind. And it really became a healing tool to me. So the reason I'm saying all this is it's not that so that you feel bad for me, and it's not so that you pity me. I'm saying this because I know there are people like me out there, and I know if you are like how I was, that you feel lonely, you feel insignificant, and no matter what's going on in your life, you may feel troubled. You may be sad for no reason. And I want to encourage you and tell you that there is a purpose to your life, and there is a plan that God has for you. You may not see it now, you may not see it in a year or two, but there is. And the the things that God has allowed me to witness through my music, through the songs that He's given me, and even the couple lives that those songs have changed, has really enlightened me in the sense that I now know that even if I change one life, that my life had a purpose. And I know if I would have killed myself back then, that it would have been worthless. And I don't want your story to end like how you feel it is. Every every person's life is a story, and my story was going to end on a very sad note, and my story was going to be pretty pointless if it ended at that point. So I want to encourage you, don't end here. Keep going. And if you need to talk to someone, I'm making myself available. You can contact me on Facebook. You can just search True Lyric Music. Find me on my website, www.truelyric.com, and send me a message and just tell me what's going on. And I will respond. I will talk to you. That's what I'm here for. That's the reason that I went through everything that I went through and came out of it, is so that I can help people that are dealing with the same thing. So I want you to be encouraged. If you sat through this whole thing, I really appreciate it. I know a lot of it was me rambling, and I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I felt I really needed to. I waited too long, and I felt people just needed to hear this from me, hear a different side. I'm hidden behind my music so often, and behind this persona that people don't really get to see the stuff that I really did go through. So I want to thank you. Thank you to everyone who has supported me. Thank you for watching this. Please share it, even if it's with one person that you know needs to hear it. So again, thank you, and I hope you're blessed by this. Peace.